Welcome back. My name is Craig, and I want to talk to you a little bit about what to ask for when you're negotiating your job offer. If you are negotiating your compensation, a lot of people stop way too early and they only think about money, and if you do that, you're missing out on a lot. So, let's get right into it. All right, one of the reasons I really like negotiating as a skill set is it really teaches you, and it taught me how to advocate for myself, right? And it's a really important skill set. It's not just about the offer, it's not just about the money and the compensation, it's about how you're treated on the job, what, projects you get put on, who your boss is, how you get treated in the company. These are all really important things to your career, and it kind of bleeds over into your personal life as well. So, if you know what to ask for, you're gonna be set up for success. The first step is to do your homework, okay? There are a bunch of different steps to this, but you can start with just going online. There are lots of different sites that give you information about your particular job, skill set, plus your title. So off the top of my head, there's, Glassdoor.com does a pretty good job. Payscale.com usually has some good data. There's even a really tricky way of going and looking at the H-1B visas. So when people come from outside the US and they come into the US, this is obviously for US-based employment, but if you come into the US, you have to go through a visa process, and part of that process, you have to actually give your compensation information to the government, and they make that public. So there is a way to look that up. You can search online, it's pretty easy to find. And it's one way of getting verifiable data, especially if you're going to a big company. So do your research, it's step number one. Now, if you looked online, one of the other places to look for information is to ask somebody who works at the company. If you happen to know somebody who works at the company, the best place to go is there and ask them about their compensation policy. Ask them, do they tend to pay pretty competitively, and give them a question that they can answer either personally or generically. I say something like this, like, hey, Sarah, could you give me a little idea about the compensation at X company? Like for somebody who's 3 years into their job, as a product manager, if they have 3 years experience, what would you guess, would be a starting salary? And she can either answer the question with specific information she knows, maybe her information, or she can give you a generic answer and you've given her that social grace. Okay, now we're into the real meat and potatoes of what to ask for, because this is gonna require a little bit of homework on your part. Outside of the research, you need to ask for things that are not just about money. And the way to do this is to brainstorm all the ways you can get paid. Now, a lot of people will listen to this and you won't actually do the brainstorm. You'll just kind of think about it in your head. I really recommend writing this down. So open up, a document on your computer, get out a pad of paper, draw a line down the middle, and we're gonna fill in both sides of the line, all right? The first side is brainstorming all the ways you can get paid. And the way to do that is think through all the things that you want possibly in your career or where you're going, and see how they can kind of weed back to an initial offer. So I'm gonna read you some of the ones that I came up with. One, of course, is a higher base salary. A signing bonus, right? A signing bonus is still money, but a signing bonus is sometimes often taken from a different pot of money in how they budget. So a signing bonus is sometimes available even if a higher salary is not. It can be named a bunch of things. It can be called a guaranteed bonus. It can be paid out through the first year. It can be a one-time bonus. A title increase is also something you can talk about. Sometimes an off-cycle performance evaluation. So if you start in June and they don't really evaluate you until next May, you're really far away. So you can say, hey, I'd like to be evaluated in 4 months or in 6 months. A shorter time frame until you get evaluated for a promotion. So this is similar, but if you can say, hey, I'm coming in at this level, I'd like to be evaluated for a promotion once you get to know me. So can we set a time in December to talk about my promotion? And that's something you can ask for when you're starting your job. Start date is obvious. You can push out your start date so you have a couple of weeks of vacation. Sometimes I've heard of people who, tell them that they have an upcoming vacation. If you have an upcoming vacation that you're planning on taking, you can start your job and then take your vacation and have it not count towards your allocation of vacation days for that year. I've heard that happen. It's a great way to get paid for your vacation. A relocation IMBURSEMENT or bonus if they're moving you from a different place. Stock grants or stock options. I'll have to get into that in a whole different video. It's a huge different area of compensation when we talk about equity. Additional vacation. This is great. You can sometimes ask for, instead of 10 days or 15 days, ask for initial 5 days of vacation. These are all non-monetary ways, or most of these are non-monetary ways to get paid. Now, the ability to work from home. Oh, I like this one. Or from a particular office that they have. Sometimes you just want to kind of work in a more flexible schedule, and that's maybe really valuable to you and easy for them to do. So it's something to ask for, or at least plant the seed of during this negotiation. Paying for specific training or going to a conference, paying for student loans. Sometimes if you have student loans, a company can help you pay them off. Now, getting to more specific stuff around equity, you can ask for like vesting schedule for the grants that they give you. This is a little bit more complicated, and I'll get into that in another video. The ability to work on a specific team, the ability to work for a particular person or boss, and here's one that I like, access to a higher up in the company. Sometimes, you just need to be seen more, and you say, hey, I'd love to have lunch once a quarter with the CFO or the CEO. And maybe that's available to you and something they can easily accept because they want you and want you to be a part of their leadership team. And it's something you can ask for, and it's non-monetary, so it's easy for them to give to you. Now, these are just a list that I came up with. For your job, you're gonna have to come up with other things because these are sometimes really specific to your job, specific to your career path. Take the time, actually write this stuff down. It's really, really important. Write all these things down, write the things that I said down, see what's applicable to you, and come up with a really long list. All right, you're back and you've written all those things down. All right, now here's the really tricky part. You can't ask for all of it. So you need to group together different things that are either hard for them to give you with things that are easier for them to give you and put them in different categories. Think about them as like you only have 2, maybe 3 times to go back to them, usually just twice with different requests. So if you go back to them more times than that, they're gonna get a little bit tired of you. It's called deal fatigue. It's a very real thing, and you don't wanna go back too many times. So package these into little packages of, base compensation and signing bonus plus extra vacation days, and you're gonna ask for that. You wanna have a couple of these, but you wanna have them prioritized. That way, when they don't give you something, and they ask you to concede on a point, you say, okay, no problem, how about this? And you go to the next item, right? When you can really win points and win extra things is when they don't give you exactly what you want. Let's say the base salary is of $5,000 less than what you would ask for. It's like, okay, I can be flexible there, but how about a one-time signing bonus? Or I can be flexible there, but how about we talk about vacation days, or I have a vacation coming up and I want my start date to be here, but I have, it's extra vacation. All these things that I talked about, they're all up for grabs, and it's really up to you to see where the door is open for you to kind of grab some of these extra things that could be extremely valuable to you personally or to your career. All right, so we've talked about what to ask for, which I should mention is different than how to ask for it, which I'll cover in a different video. But if you complete this step about brainstorming how they can pay you, monetary and non-monetary, you have done a really important thing, which is you have thought about what you want out of this job offer negotiation. And it's a really, really important first step. All right, so you've written down all these things that you could get. Ugh. All right, guys, so we've talked about how to ask for, we've talked about what to, brainstorming, how to, Guys, if you like this video, please let me know. Hit the like button and hit me up in the comment section. I'm happy to answer any questions, or if you have ideas about other videos you'd like me to do, that'd be great. And please subscribe to my channel. I'm coming out with videos each and every week, and I will see you in the next one.